Welcome to the Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to the Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
Remember the story?
Oh, I just remembered something!
Of the lovely lady and her very lovely girls?
Wild horses couldn't drag it out of me.
How about the man named Brady? Busy with 3 boys of his own?
She's out of sight, Dad.
Well, guess what? They're back. And this time, they're moving into your house.
Really and truly?
That sounds like fun.
So,
Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest today comes with a very well-known and outstanding reputation, which for him started in the 1960s and is still known today. In fact, he and his father became the only father-son production team in the business. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lloyd J. Schwartz.
I'm so happy to be here.
My pleasure to have you here, and greetings and welcome to the Actor's Choice. Wow. Lloyd, where do you start from? You and your family have made tremendous, I exercise that word again, tremendous contributions to Hollywood. Your father, Sherwood Schwartz, Elroy Schwartz, Ross Schwartz, many people, and you, many people have done great work for us in Hollywood. We thank you. You were born right here in LA, right?
I was born in Studio City, and I have never changed zip codes. And I told my wife we could live anywhere in the world as long as it was Studio City.
Sounds good to me. Sounds very good to me. Now, one of the things that I have to ask, I must ask this question. What was it like? Well, first of all, what made you get into the business? That's first question.
You know, something I was always writing. And my dad was, a pretty famous writer and things, but it didn't really come from him. I was writing in school and in college, and I took television classes, and I did a stand-up comedy, and I kind of eased into it, and I never thought about doing anything else. I just, I don't really feel like I've ever had a job. I've just been doing arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts, got you. Because growing up in LA, you saw the stars. You made stars out of people who were nobodies.
Yeah, somewhat, yeah.
Right.
It's just really fun for me. I'm not famous in terms of what I look like. My name is a little famous, and so I always enjoy watching people react to the stars that I've worked with over the years.
Wow. That says a lot. Now, according to IMDb, you got your first credit in 1969 as a writer for the hit TV series Love American Style. Remember that?
That's right. I was in college studying theater, TV rather, and a friend of mine said, "You heard about this show, Love American Style? Do you want to write for it?" We had a meeting, and I was 20, something like that, and 21 or so, and that was it. I started then, and it's been nonstop since.
Wow. And then from 1971 to 1973, you got another job. You were a production associate for another TV series called, and we just showed it for a moment, just a brief click there, The Brady Bunch.
That's it, yeah. I started as a dialogue coach, actually, on that show, which was I'd watch out for these 6 kids. And then I gradually moved up. My dad was the executive producer, so it was a little bit of a nepotism, but you always had to prove yourself.
Exactly.
And by the end of that series, I was writing, directing, executive producer, and I've done every variation of the Brady Bunch since then.
Wow. Yeah. And then from 1973 to 1974, like you say, you were a producer, 22 episodes there. You did 15 as an associate, 22 there, 77 episodes.
Well, I don't know the numbers. I'm assuming you're right.
IMDb. Yes. Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Episodes, a lot of people don't understand the hard work that goes into episodes. I know we are about 4 or 5 away from 300 episodes on this little show that we do. Well, and we thank a lot of people.
Well, congratulations. You must be doing something right.
Yeah, we besides, as they said, besides getting up this morning, we did something right. We met a lot of people along the way, and we enjoyed doing what we do. We meet a lot of people like you, and that makes
that's the whole thing. I know whenever I'm doing like a 3-camera show, which is done in front of an audience, at the end of the week, I say to myself, I get to do this again next week, and that's the way I've always looked at it.
Right. You have such a varied career, sir, in all the media. Which one do you prefer?
I prefer the one I'm doing at the time. Because right now I'm doing some theater, and the piece itself tells me what it should be. So if I'm writing something that I think is a movie, I better write it as a movie or a play or a musical or a TV show. The thing itself tells me what it should be, and I call that a happy project if it's in its right form.
Wow, wow. And then in 1978, you did a new TV series called Rescue from Gilligan's Island.
Yes, we did that movie. Yeah, a lot of people wanted to know how they ever got off the island. So then some people said nobody would ever watch it. Of course, it was the highest rated movie in 2 years on television, so a lot of people wanted to know. So, yeah, I actually acted in that. I played the guy who was waiting for Mary Ann for those 15 years while she was on the island.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then keep on moving on. You did another one called The Castaways on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah. Well, they really wanted us to do another series,
Okay.
but the people were quite old at the time, and Gilligan's very physical, and so we thought the best way to do that is once they get rescued, is do a kind of a hotel on the island. It didn't last very long, but it was fun, and I just like working with those people again.
Describe back in those days. What was it like on the set?
It was a playground. I started off a dialogue coach on Gilligan way back in '66 or something. I was there, and so I cut my teeth in watching how they work, and they all work differently. Jim, Mr. Powell was always full of ad libs and things, and some people were much more serious about their work. Interestingly, Gilligan, Bob Denver, was very serious about his work. He was not a guy who normally, people always think Gilligan, he's clumsy, gets hit with coconuts and things. But he's very bright, very serious actor about his work. Yeah.
Question. When you're doing Gilligan's Island, enter between Ginger and Mary Ann, who was the one star who received more fan mail on the set?
That is the easiest one of all. Dawn Wells, Mary Ann, got 5 times the fan mail as anybody else. Wow. And it's really because she was the most accessible one. Because everybody else was kind of an extreme character of some sort, but everybody identified with Mary Ann.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. She was something else. She was really something. The thing that I like about with the work that you did, as you know, in this industry, we have a word called evergreen. For those that don't understand it, the new generation, now they'll be able to see programs that this gentleman and his family created. That's what that is.
Yeah.
That is exactly what that is. And so,
both Brady Bunch and Gilligan, every producer likes to think everybody knows all their work, but
yes,
Gilligan and Brady kind of have left the land of television, and they're kind of in Americana or something where there's always references to them. And Brady Bunch is an adjective. Some people say it's a Brady Bunch kind of family and stuff like that. And if you ever go on a boat, everybody always go, I hope this isn't a 3-hour tour, thinking they're going to get shipwrecked or something.
Wow.
So it's fun. It's fun for me to know, as you said, we have that kind of an impact.
Well, you made a statement that you always say. You say the Brady Bunch is a lot of things, but over isn't one of them.
Yeah, I do say that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. When are you going to come up with a book, sir?
Well, Dad and I did write Brady, 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 which is a history of the Brady Bunch. And I have written a few books that have not been published. There's one coming up, but it's a novel. So it's not anything to do with what you're talking about. I kind of written the history of my family and of Brady and of the shows, but I don't really press that, it's not really my métier, but no.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Right now I'm doing a lot of theater. We have some Brady stuff coming up, and we have some Gilligan stuff coming up, but I have a play now in Los Angeles called Classic Couples Counseling. Yes. And it's about a therapist for Shakespearean characters. So Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet and Ophelia, and Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, they all go in and see her, and then she's kind of a whack job therapist. So because of her advice, they all die. So it's pretty wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how'd you come up with the idea for this one?
Well, I was my therapist, and I left her a particularly excruciating experience with my therapist. I left there and I said, what other people probably have difficulty with therapists? And I said, you know, who should go therapist is the Shakespearean characters, and the play kind of wrote itself after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
We only got a little time left, but as I read your history, you were a writer, 17 IMDb credits, 21 producer credits. Shucks, you was even an actor.
Yeah, well.
I saw that one sneaking in there. So go ahead, tell me about it.
Well, just same as whatever I come up with to write. If it calls me to do that, then I will do that. I started off as a comedian, a black and white comedy team thing, because it called for me to do that. I better have to mention this one other thing before you let me go. I have a one-person show on An Evening with John Wilkes Booth that I wrote. That's at the Sierra Madre Playhouse, and so I got fascinated with that subject. Do a lot of history writing. And so that's been playing around the country.
You also did 2 soundtracks and a director credit.
Okay.
At IMDb, they got you going.
I guess so. I don't look up that. You know more about that. I just do I put one foot in front of the other and see what's next, So there we go.
Got you. Do you ever stop and think what you did for us, you and your family?
I don't like that. I mean, people say that to me, and I'm very pleased with that, especially if it's positive. And it's always positive with Brady and Gilligan. A lot of people come up and say the most extraordinary things, like, I owe you my childhood, and all the lessons I learned from these shows, and I try to copy that in terms of how I'm a parent. Mm-hmm. And then with Gilligan, things that people have I've heard people have learned to learn the language English by watching Gilligan episodes and things. Yeah, so that's amazing. It really does have an impact.
Yes, it really does. It really does. On March the 7th, 2008, your father, Sherwood, was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
That's right.
When I saw that picture, I got goosebumps. Oh.
Yeah, that was quite a day. It was quite a day, and I don't people know this, but there's like 15 stars given a year, and only 3 are given to people who aren't actors.
Right.
And so it was pretty much, he was very touched by it. It was great. And every once in a while, if I'm that part of Hollywood, I go and make sure his star is clean on the ground there.
Wow. It's just one of those things. But sometimes when you're sitting at home and you ain't got nothing to do, you ever watch some of that old work that you did?
Sometimes it's funny. There was a couple of episodes. I will say this out of school. I dated a couple of girls that were in the Brady Bunch, and not the Brady girls, but we had girlfriends for Greg or something. Yes. So my kids would say, "That's a good episode." I go, "That was a great episode," but that's
wow.
Yeah.
You passing this on to your family, other members of the family?
Oh yeah. Right now, my older son is a writer, and he worked on Scrubs, and he had his own show on the Disney Channel. And my younger son does reality program. I think he's working with Vice right now, Vice Entertainment. So yeah, they're right there. My wife is an actress. We have a children's theater in Los Angeles. We've been doing that for 37 years. Ooh. And she's acting in this classic couples counseling. She's Lady Macbeth.
Wow. It's interesting when you realize and look back at what you have done. When you walk into it, the first thing, everything starts with a script, an idea, right. And it mushrooms, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the studios are saying, "Well, give me this, give me that." And someone is saying, "Do this, do that," and you're doing all this work.
You're right. It does. It starts with that blank piece of paper, and I got to tell you, it's like I have a major feature that's going to be done pretty soon by Walden about Mary Walker. She's the only woman to win the Congressional Medal of Honor. And it's a fabulous story. And I remember sitting down at this same computer where we're talking and starting off with that blank piece of paper. And I know that millions and millions of people will know about Mary Walker, and they deserve to know about her. I mean, she deserved it. She's a real heroine. And but that's funny. I said, man, I'm going to start typing this thing. And then boom.
Great. Medal of Honor, the highest honor you can get in this country.
Only one woman.
Right.
3,500 men. One woman.
Wow, that is something. What branch of the service was she in?
She was a Civil War doctor. So she was in the Army.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, and she was a surgeon there in the battlefield. Fabulous, fabulous history. Everybody should know about it.
Yes. Lloyd J. Schwartz, is there anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
Just that I'm really enjoying talking to you, and you have a good show. You have a very good reputation. People say you got to get on that show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm pleased that you asked me.
Oh, my
And
pleasure.
if you're in LA, go see Classic Couples Counseling. And if you're in Sierra Madre, go see An Evening with John Wilkes Booth and just watch television. There'll be stuff there.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Lord, I just want to thank you and take a moment to thank you so much for being here today. I really had a great time. We got to get back together for more time again. There's a lot that has to be talked about.
I would love that. I would love that.
And thank your family for what you all did for this industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right. This is the Actors' Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to let you know that we're asking the Actors' Choice squad to help us get former baseball player Curt Flood into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, Curt passed away January 20th, 1997. He's the husband of one of our wonderful guests, renowned actress Judy Pace. So all you got to do is contact our TAC office at 213-349-3941. That's 213-349-3941. Ladies and gentlemen, we sincerely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this magnificent award for a great baseball player. Roll it, Tony.
There are these caves I could take you to. You might learn something. I can tell you're thinking about me. Both of you.
Hi.
My eyes. My neck. I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today is known for stage work as well as TV and film. She was classically trained at the Oxford School of Drama in Oxford, England. She's also a member of Open Fist Theatre Company. They do a lot of work, ladies and gentlemen, and has theater off Broadway and these kind of credits. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Laura Liguori. Welcome, Laura, and welcome to the Actors' Choice.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure, lady. And where are you from originally?
Originally, well, I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Uh-huh.
I was born in New Jersey, but my dad moved my family to Scottsdale when I was 2. So.
Okay. New Jersey, huh? I remember that on Doy.
And sometimes I have an accent that comes out because my parents still have the Jersey accent. So
all right.
People will
all
say,
right.
Yeah, like my sister's name is Dawn. It's not Dawn. I guess it would be Dawn, but
Dawn,
we all say Dawn.
Yeah, Dawn, yeah. Hey, Dawn. I love it. Love it. Let's start with one of my favorite questions. I ask this question all the time. When did the acting bug first bite you?
It was just always there. I started doing theater in high school, and I played the role of Juliet from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet in class. I think I was a freshman, and I just fell in love with it, and it's just kind of I never stopped since that day. It's just kind of who I am.
Well, the truth shows itself. The lady's got, about 15 credits so far and has done a lot of work. We're going to talk about that in just the next few minutes. And then getting that needed education and classic training definitely was an asset, would you say?
Yes. So I went to Loyola Marymount University,
Good school.
Which was great, and did a lot of performing. And then for training, I went to the Oxford School of Drama to do some classical training in Shakespeare.
Wow. The next guest that comes on after you, he also has some classical training. So I can see two birds of a feather flocking together. Indeed. That classical training is off the hook. I teach at a local college, and one of the things we try to impress folks to do is to get that education. A lot of people think, well, I look good, I'm handsome and whatnot. Yeah, that's nice, but you need something to go along with it.
Right.
Got to go to school.
Right.
In 2006, you got your first IMDb credit for a documentary you did called Dance with the Devil.
Yeah, that was Zalman King did that.
Uh-huh.
And it was very odd. But I had watched what's the movie he did with Mickey Rourke? 9.5 Weeks.
Okay.
And I mean, it was pretty intense, sexy film. So I was surprised. He just saw me walking down the 3rd Street Promenade, shopping, and came up to me and asked me if I would be in this documentary and just be a part of, just be a guest at a dinner table. And so I was, right out of school, I was like, sure, when I heard who he was. Yeah, interesting man.
Interesting lady. Then in 2007, you got an actor credit for a drama film called Phantom Love.
Yes, so that was directed by Nina Menkes, who's a very, very talented film director, and we went to Sundance. And I played a princess in it, and I spoke French.
Parlez-vous français?
No, I just memorized the lines that I needed to, and in French, and I rode the horse from the movie Narnia, and it was scary because I was in a wedding gown, speaking in French, and had to gallop on this horse bareback in a wedding gown down this mountain, and the horse got spooked. So it started galloping out of control, and luckily I stayed on, but I was screaming. In the film, you don't see that I'm screaming. It just looks like I know what I'm doing, but I didn't. Yeah.
Sounds good. So, making a decision that you have to do when jobs come up, how do you make the decision between stage, television, or film? How do you do that?
Well, I come from the theater. So the theater is, like, I would describe it, it's kind of like my church. So whenever there is a project, I am drawn to, I'm so grateful for that. But theater, especially in Los Angeles, doesn't pay very well. So yeah, shocking. So it's a luxury to be able to do it. So at this point, coming out of the pandemic, I would say that I'm focused more on film and TV. But Murray Mednick, the playwright I've worked with since 2006, is 82 years old, and he's still writing and directing. And so it really meant something to me to be a part of this show and be directed by him, which is called Three Tables. It is premiering, opening night is the 22nd, this Saturday, and it runs through, hold on, the publicist wanted me to say, we're going to say that a little. I had also you let me know when to say it. It's hold on to 5 weeks. Yeah. Right.
Okay, you went fast forward to 2017. You took on a biopic role of a lady named Peg Entwistle. Who was she? For those who don't know, who was
she? It's based on a true story.
Yes.
She was an actress, a Broadway actress, and she committed suicide off of the Hollywood sign, the H, in 1932. And her body was found. She actually didn't die from the fall. She died from exposure and exposure and injuries that she had for a few days before her body was found.
How do you prepare for a role like that?
Well, I researched her life, and I researched her life. I listened to radio interviews. It's not hard to play a role like that. Being an actress, coming from the theater, experiencing rejection, knowing what it's like, how tough this business can be. It wasn't a stretch for me to step into her shoes. And then as regards to doing the suicide scene, I did my own stunts. So I was the one who, 50 times, climbed to the top of this. We were at the LA Opera, the stage. We had a huge, made a big plank, and I would jump off or dive off over and over and over, because that helped me to be able to really step into the role, really take on these harder, deeper feelings of pain and just despair that people go through before making that decision to jump.
Gotcha. Laura, we just happen to have a short clip. Roll it, Tony.
Oh.
It's a packed house.
Have a good show.
After you've gone,
It is your duty to go on the stage. Do you hear me? It is the dream of my life, which would never come true.
And I was playing the big apple.
Marvelous, marvelous. Folks, if you want to see the complete Hollywood Girl, the Peg and Tristel story, it's available on Amazon Prime, I'm told.
Yes.
And I should also mention that the clip that we showed at the beginning of this interview, Laura, is called Hello Say. It's also available on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Good deal. So you're a busy lady. I see you're currently in a recurring role of Elizabeth Shannon House in Showtime's American Gigolo.
Gigolo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that show I'm currently filming. I did the first 3 episodes, and then I will have 2 more, I believe, left to shoot. And it is based on the movie, the 1980s 19 Gigolo movie. So that'll be on Showtime when that's completed. I can't say too much about that because of the NDA agreement, but you know, I'm really excited about that.
What you're saying is not leaving this place though, between you and I.
Okay.
If you believe that, I'll sell you a kitchen.
Okay.
My dear, I see you love good to take on good roles. Now, I understand. Here we go, talking about what you want to talk about. 3 Tables.
Yes.
Currently, you're on a play called 3 Tables with renowned playwright Murray Mednick.
Mednick.
There he is.
Yeah.
Been around a long time. Wow.
Yes.
Tell us about the synopsis of this play, please.
Okay, so there are 3 tables, just like the title, and it's a bunch of actors. There's also 2 waiters at these tables. But what's happening is there's this impending doom surrounding them. There's also different realities happening. So there's a riot outside. There's a possibility of war outside. There's a table of actors that are dealing with that. Then the table I'm at, we're more the philosophers, trying to understand life, which the playwright, which Murray always does. He really puts a mirror up to human beings and our history and our stupidity of how like war continues to happen and the cycles of violence and this unconsciousness of human beings, which, you know, we see now with the war in Ukraine. You know, it continuously happens. So there's this knock, this loud knock in the play, and that knock it symbolizes the Holocaust or genocide or war coming again, because we still have not awakened as human beings to stop this.
Yes.
This absolute, you know, foolishness and greed.
Got you.
Yeah.
Now this is a world premiere, I'm told.
Yes. So Murray wrote this in 2019.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
All right. And the play is actually being done at where? The Zephyr Theater in Hollywood?
Yes, the Zephyr Theater in Hollywood, and opening night is this Saturday, and it runs through May 22nd. Okay. And is this where I tell you where the publicist told me to tell you?
Go for it. I know that publicist, that Lucy Pollock lady.
Okay,
go for it.
Sorry. Opening night is Friday. I should know that. And it runs through May 22nd, and you get tickets on onstage411.com/tables.
Yes. Okay. Could you say that again? onstage411.com/tables?
onstage411.com/tables.
Okay. And that's Friday. So your performances are on Friday at 8:00, Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 3 p.m.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Tickets, how can I get tickets?
On that website. You can also go to the Zephyr Theater website to get tickets, or the 411 that I just gave you .com/tables. You can get tickets there.
Gotcha. Okay. Now you've worked with Murray Metcalf for many years. What draws you to his work?
So Murray is very special to me. He hears voices when he writes. So as a writer, I've seen him write. He's hearing voices and he just transcribes them as he hears them. And so his work is very lyrical. It's not character based. There's like an iambic pentameter like from like Shakespeare. And there's that which it adds great value, but there's also this poetic aspect to his work, as well as he really portrays his truth. He's a true artist. So his work is really challenging for an actor. I wouldn't say it's fun, because it's not. Actors like very character-based roles, and this is more like you're performing a symphony.
Gotcha.
With the lyrical sense, and you have to kind of put all your ego aside, put it all aside, and just stand as yourself. And then through that, a character comes out. But his work is of great value. And Murray started the off-Broadway movement in New York with Sam Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Harris, who is, in my opinion, the leader of our tribe. He did one of Murray's first plays, Scar, which was done in Los Angeles. And Murray's he's had a really, really solid career, and I feel very grateful to work with him, especially at 82. That's how you know who's a true artist.
Right. If
you're at 82 struggling through health like stuff, and you're there with nurses in the background directing your work that you just wrote, that's really something.
Wow.
So yeah,
have a lot of right things to say about the gentleman. He is like he's 82 years old and still doing it.
He's still doing it.
Yes. One more time. The Three Tables is called.
Three Tables.
Three Tables. At the Zephyr Theater in Hollywood. Friday, 8 p.m., Saturday, 8 p.m., Sunday, 3 p.m. Go out and see it, ladies and gentlemen. You'll really have a good time. And I want to thank you so much for being our guest today. Wish you the very best in your acting career. You're moving in the right direction, my dear. And please do come back again. Thanks to Lucy Pollock, your publicist. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
My pleasure.
Very nice to meet you.
The feeling is mutual.
Virtually.
Virtually. Well, this is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony.
Greetings, this is Daryl Maximilian Robinson. I'm playing Mayor George Shin in the Young Stars Theatre 2022 production of Meredith Willson's The Music Man. I am one of 29 actors in a large cast of adults and children. And one of the most childlike adults in the show is John Farley, who plays Marcellus Washburn. Tell us who Marcellus Washburn is and what he means to you, John.
Marcellus Washburn is a reformed grifter, if you will. He used to hang out with old Harold Hill back in the day.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, when you read the resume of my next guest today, it takes your breath away. Now, he's been classically trained as a stage performer plus play director whose work in drama spans nearly 50 years. This includes involvement in over 250 dramatic productions and literacy art presentations performed around the country. Ladies and gentlemen, he stands real tall. Please welcome Darryl Maximilian Robinson. Greetings, Darryl, and welcome once again to the Actor's Choice.
Parade with 110 cornets close at hand. They were followed by rows upon rows of the finest virtuos, the cream of every famous band. and 76 trombones hit the counterpoint, with 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper bottom, timpani, and horse platoon. You never let me get to the end, Ron.
Yes, sir. Very nice. Very nice. Daryl, you are something else. How many times have you been on the show?
This is my 4th appearance on the Actors' Choice.
How do we do that? Now you see why we do that.
To be at UBNGO Studios in Burbank because we are a stone's throw away from Warner Brothers. And in 1962, 60 years ago, Meredith Willson's The Music Man was shot with Robert Preston, Shirley Jones, Buddy Hackett, Paul Ford as Mayor Shin, and Hermione Gingold as Mrs. Shin. And so we are celebrating the 60th anniversary of The Music Man. And as a point of shameless publicity, I am currently advertising the Young Stars Theater of South Pasadena revival of Meredith Willson's The Music Man, which plays Fridays and Saturdays at 7 p.m., Sundays at 2 and 7 p.m. through May the 1st. And with all that said, with my shameless plug out of the way, Ron, for the 4th and possibly last time of our lives, you may ply me with your questions.
Daryl, you too much. You are too much. Now, Rizzy, where are you from, sir?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Born and bred.
Chicago, Illinois.
Trained
That's
in
a nice
theater
picture.
in Chicago.
Yes. Now, with over 250 productions, that's a lot of auditions, couldn't you say?
Well, 250 productions is what I've done. About 1,000, maybe 1,200 auditions is what I've had. And so think in terms of, out of every 10 auditions I went to, I might have gotten 2 callbacks. Out of those auditions, I might have gotten 1 job. So it is a very difficult business. And as your previous guests, who are quite knowledgeable, especially about something that I should point out to you, coming up this weekend will be the birthday of the immortal bard, William Shakespeare.
Okay.
And so I give you Sonnet 15.
Interesting.
When I perceive that everything that grows holds in perfection but a little moment, that this huge stage presenteth naught but shows, whereon the stars in secret influence comment, when I perceive that men, as plants increase, cheered and checked even by that self-same sky, vaunt in their youthful sap at height decrease, and wear their brave state out of memory, then the conceit of this inconstant day sets you most rich in youth before my sight, where wasteful time debateth with decay to change your day of youth to sullied night, and all in love with war, all in love with time for love of you, as he takes from you, I engraft you know. Happy birthday, William Shakespeare.
All right. Now, for some actors, TV and film is their passion, but you've done that, but you love being on that stage. You remember the first time you stepped on a stage, sir?
On the west side of Chicago, there used to be a junior high school called the Robert H. Lawrence Upper Grade Center. It was across the street from a Catholic facility known as Providence St. Mel Junior High School. And in December, in fact, December 21st, 1973, I played the character of Mr. Jones, a school teacher who becomes unemployed and has to go home and explain to his family at Yuletide that there'll be nothing for Christmas in a play called A Black Christmas Carol. And I did that play, and I got my first laughs on stage in front of junior high school students. And the next year during summer school, I wrote a play myself called New York Detective in 1974, done during the summer months. And after that, I realized I wanted to become an actor. And I was not even 14 years old. And I have consistently studied acting in high school, in professional arts programs. I started doing professional summer stock in 1981 with the Enchanted Hills Playhouse of Syracuse, Indiana. I performed on tour with the National Shakespeare Company of New York in 1982. I did Indianapolis Shakespeare Festival in the Park in 1985. And by 1987, I devised an original one-man show of Shakespeare and time travel comedy called The Bit of the Bard, in which I played a character named Sir Richard Drury Kemkin, who was a brilliant Shakespearean actor who struck by lightning in the middle of a performance of Henry V, and he is propelled 327 years into the future to 1987 America, where he hears the name of a king named Ronald Reagan, which doesn't sound like the proper name of any ruler he had ever heard of. But in order to make money, in order to survive, he goes to various places performing bits of Shakespeare, speeches from As You Like It,
Gotcha.
The Merry Wives of Windsor, and many other plays by Shakespeare. And it was about an 80 to 90-minute program. And for years, I would take that show into high schools, into churches, into libraries, into community centers, into people's living rooms, if the price was right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was $500 for 1 hour's work, so the price was right. And
Yes.
that's how I started raising money for the multiracial theater company that would become Excalibur Productions Limited in St. Louis and the Excalibur Shakespeare Company of Chicago. And I would bring together a group of actors of all races to do classic plays by Shakespeare, by Shaw, by Chekhov, at a place called it no longer exists, in St. Louis, called the Wabash Triangle Cafe. I directed the first multiracial cast of James Goldman's classic play, The Lion in Winter. I played King Henry V opposite a fine Caucasian actress playing the role of Queen Eleanor of the Aquitaine, and we had a multiracial cast of sons. An Asian actress by the name of Angela Chan, who I miss very much, played Princess Alice. And indeed, in studio with me today, with your beloved Tony. Tony is a great engineer. He makes me look good. He makes me sound good. But is one of the members of the St. Louis company of Excalibur Productions. Jesse Livingston Watt is here, and he's photographing me because, like a dinosaur, I'm being documented, Mr. Brewington. I'm being documented. But I want all of my papers. I love being an American.
I see that. I see that.
Let the drums roll out. Let the trumpets call while the people shout. Strike up the band. Where's the band?
Strike up the band.
Where's the band?
Daryl, it's only April, and we've already lost some very magnificent people.
Yeah.
One well-known actor who passed away was Sidney Poitier.
Yes.
He died on January the 6th, 2022. He meant a lot to you, didn't he?
He was a true American inspiration, not just a Black American inspiration, a true American inspiration. He was born in February of 1927, and he passed away, I believe, at 94, a month before his 95th birthday. He was the first Black actor that the Hollywood studio system recognized and polished and promoted as an American movie star. And it began in 1950 with a movie called No Way Out, in which he plays a struggling young Black surgeon that is dealing with people who become involved in a race riot. Richard Widmark played opposite him in that movie. But in 1958, he does a movie where he plays a member of a chain gang, and he's chained to Tony Curtis. And it's called The Defiant Ones. So you have this movie where this Black man and this white man are chained together in the Deep South, and they accidentally find themselves escaping. Tony Curtis and Sidney Poitier are nominated for Best Leading Actor in a Motion Picture. Neither of them will win. They will lose to David Niven in a movie called Separate Tables. But with that win of the nomination, Sidney Poitier is able to go to Broadway and star in a play by the great African-American playwright Lorraine Hansberry called A Raisin in the Sun. And for the first time in American theater history, we have a leading Black man with a predominantly Black cast starring on Broadway in a show directed by the first Black Broadway director of a major hit, Lloyd Richards, for everyone to see. And it was that nomination for the Oscar for The Defiant Ones that brings Sidney enough star power to bring audiences on Broadway to see him. But a few years after that, he actually will win the Academy Award. Now, with A Raisin in the Sun, Sidney Poitier is going to win the first nomination for a black actor for leading actor in a play. He does not win, but he becomes the first actor to break the barrier. So he has already broken the barrier with the nomination for Best Leading Actor in a Motion Picture with The Defiant Ones. He breaks a barrier with becoming the black actor on Broadway. He was nominated for a Tony for lead in a play. And in 1963, for director-writer Ralph Nelson, he shoots a movie called Lilies of the Field.
Daryl, we just happen to have a clip of when in 1964, when he won the Academy Award.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
In Lilies of the Field, the winner is Sidney Poitier in Lilies of the Field. The winner is Sidney Poitier.
That was quite an accomplishment.
That was an accomplishment. And as we didn't get to watch the entire thing, he does it with such class, with such grace, with such dignity. He is the first of 5 black leading men to win the Oscar. He sets the gold standard for a black man winning an Academy Award and becoming a movie star. So he wins for Lilies of the Field. Then what does he do? He does Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy. He does In the Heat of the Night opposite Rod Steiger, who will win his one and only Best Actor Oscar. And he shoots a movie called To Sir with Love in Great Britain, which turns into a massive hit in Europe. And Lulu's title track becomes one of the top 10 songs in the music charts. Now later, he will return to Broadway to direct briefly. He will star in many television films, Separate but Equal, as Thurgood Marshall, who won an Emmy nomination for that.
Right.
But the standard that Sidney Poitier sets, the standard of a leading male black actor, was insurmountable to catch up with until Denzel Washington wins for Training Day in 2003, I believe. So almost 30 years, 40 years is going to pass before another black leading man comes along. So he is our gold standard. He has dignity. He has class. And when he goes to the Oscars, he knows why he's there.
I can hear Tony back there. We just happen to have a photo of what the President of the United States giving Sidney Poitier the Freedom Medal.
Yes. Yeah. Barack Obama chooses Sidney Poitier for the President's Medal of Freedom.
Yes.
And this is one of the great honors of Sidney Poitier's life, because he is given this award by the first black man to become the President of the United States. So it's a huge triumph. And another thing, Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte, during the Civil Rights Movement, put themselves at risk by going down and giving money to people who were organizing the Freedom Riders. They got chased in cars. They could have been killed, but they wanted to support Martin Luther King's movement, and they did.
Yes.
It was Sidney Poitier who could pick up the phone and call a Hollywood producer or call a Hollywood movie star. And I mean people like Joanne Woodward, people like Paul Newman, people like Charlton Heston. They were pouring money to support Martin Luther King's movement. So Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte did a lot for the Civil Rights Movement. And when we lost him, we lost one of the great African-American heroes in show business. And he cannot be replaced. Although I think when he passed, he knew how much he was loved, respected, and admired. So I'm so happy you were able to let me talk about Sir Sidney Poitier today.
Okay. We're running out of time right now, but I just want to let you know before you go.
He was born in Miami, Florida.
Right.
But his parents were from the Bahamas. So he grew up as a kid on a place called Cat Island in the Bahamas, which is a British Commonwealth country. This is at the time. So this is the reason why Queen Elizabeth II in the early 1970s knights him for his contributions to acting. So it is Sir Sidney Poitier.
Okay. We're running out of
wish I
time.
was so lucky.
Daryl, we're running out of time.
There will be no Sir Darryl Maximilian Robinson, but there is a Sir Sidney Poitier.
Okay.
So I'm very happy about that.
All right. Before you leave, I just want to give you a plug for your Music Man logo.
Thank you.
Okay. And roll the video if you would, Tony.
Thank you for your time and your energy. If you wish tickets to see the Music Man at Young Stars Theater, which is at Fremont Center Theater, 1000 Fremont in South Pasadena, California, visit the youngstarstheater.org/tickets website.
That's the fancy word is theater. It's theater R-E. Theatre.
We thank you for your time and your attention, and tickets are very reasonably priced. 76.
Okay. Daryl, I want to thank you for being here today. We'll see you back again in about another 2 years.
I'm sure.
Until then,
I'm waiting for my silver dollars for
and
both
you'll get
these
it as soon
last
as I
two
see you.
visits.
Believe me.
And
I
let me
have it
say,
in my
may I
pocket.
say something? You do so much for the professionals in film and in television and in the live performing arts, Ron, and we are grateful to you. We are all grateful to you. And long live the Actor's Choice.
Thank you. It's people, it's the guests that we get that make the show what it is. I'm just a facilitator, but I thank you very much for saying that. Again, break a leg again. Come on back in a little bit, maybe 2 years. Okay. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Brandman Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Lose Life, The Way to Lose Weight, Larry Buford's book To the Future, Time Travel, Message in the Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. Much thanks today to our guests, producer-writer Lloyd J. Schwartz, actor Laura Liguori, and stage actor, play director Darryl Maximilian Robinson. And of course, special thanks to our ever-growing audience. Be well. We'll see you next time.